While we're all here, I would like to know and have an update on the impeachment process, because this president continuously shows why he's a racist piece of shit, and I mean that in the most disrespectful manner possible. For those of you who voted for Donald Trump, I personally think it's time for you to come get y'all mans. A year into Donald Trump's presidency, and I thought I'd just like to do a video on his greatest hits so far. And I say so far because I just like to remind y'all we have 3 more years with this Orange Crusade. To avoid being biased or twisting the issues, I'm just gonna use videos basically describing what I'm saying, okay? Here we go.
I would like to have him show his birth certificate. And can I be honest with you? I hope he can. Because if he can't, and if he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, I'm not saying it happened, I'm saying it's a real possibility, much greater than I thought 2 or 3 weeks ago, then he has pulled one of the great cons in the history of politics.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Building a wall. He's a Mexican. We're building a wall between here and Mexico.
If you are saying he can't do his job because of his race, is that not the definition of racism?
No, I don't think so at all.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Now, most recently, the president stated that he didn't want immigrants from certain countries like Africa, El Salvador, and Haiti because they're what he called shithole countries. Afterwards, the White House press tried to spin the story. Peep game.
Several people said to me over the weekend that there's a semantic difference. Some people in the meeting heard the phrase shit house instead of shit hole and are using that to kind of disparage or to knock back some of the reporting. Apparently the senators heard that per White House officials that I have spoken to, and are using that discrepancy to say the president did not make those comments.
This is really the best that the White House PR team could really come up with. That's the sad part about all of this. Shithole versus shithouse.
Part of, I think, what is important to keep in mind is that not only were those comments racist, they're also just inaccurate. When you have 30% of Americans have college degrees, 43% of African immigrants have college degrees, 10% of white Americans have advanced degrees, 25% of Nigerian Americans have advanced degrees.
Wait. Say that one more time?
30% of Americans have college degrees. 43% of African immigrants have college degrees. 10% of white Americans have advanced degrees. 25% of Nigerian Americans have advanced degrees.
For the sake of being facetious, I want someone to tell me the difference of a shithouse nation and a shithole nation. Don't worry, I'll wait.
It just shows that the president has racist views. I mean, how long do we have to dance around that issue? I mean, whether it's, rapists coming from Mexico, whether it's saying the first president of the African-American president of the United States was not born in the United States. I mean, he has racist views. And the worst thing is that's part of his appeal. We talk about that as if, oh, this is so terrible. You know what? It's a feature, not a bug. There are a lot of people who like this. I mean, when are we going to acknowledge that this is not, it's not some mistake that he has to take back? This is who he is. And this is in part why he won. But also, it's in character. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it was not, I mean, like so much that has happened in the past year, it's shocking but not surprising. I mean, it's shocking that he would actually use use that word. But it's not, I mean, does that seem out of character? Not at all. I mean, and this is, and people, there are a lot of people who like it. I mean, we're sitting here, we all have the vapors. Oh, it's so terrible. Just like when he said John McCain is a prisoner of war, we thought, oh, it was so terrible. I mean, you know what? A lot of people like the fact that he's racist. And that's the thing that we need to acknowledge, that this part of his character is not something that is a gaffe that he will be punished for. He will be rewarded for it, like he was rewarded by being elected president of the United States.
Remember when Obama wore a tan suit for Easter? That became the biggest scandal during his entire presidency. Can you imagine how quickly they would have had Obama removed from office if it came out allegedly that he had an affair with a porn star and used campaign funds in order to keep her quiet? Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Check this out.
She's the woman whose name is splashed across headlines all over the world. Now Inside Edition sits down exclusively with Stormy Daniels, who, according to the Wall Street Journal, was paid $130,000 to keep silent about an alleged affair she had with Donald Trump in 2006.
Did you have a sexual relationship with Donald Trump? You can't answer that.
Since we as a country can finally agree that we have a president that is racist, or at the very least has racist ideology, can y'all tell me when he will be impeached? Why am I asking that? Well, mostly because a person who resides in the highest office of a nation has the ability and the means to implement policy that can be perceived as racist. If you like and agree with my video, make sure you like it and share it with a Trump supporter. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell to be alerted whenever I drop something new. So, in conclusion, I want y'all to leave a comment and tell me what it would actually take to have him removed from office. Because having a father who's connected with the KKK, being generally underqualified for the position, having an ongoing investigation about collusion with a foreign rival, not releasing his tax returns, having an affair with a porn star and using campaign funds in order to cover it up, and supporting racist groups, having racist comments during his campaign and presidency doesn't seem to be sufficient.